Alright, so the first reason is public commitment. Public commitment is a super powerful practice that gives a huge boost to those desired events you want to attract into your life. I've never used this method before. Never, because I'm a very private person, maybe even pathologically private. I'm an introvert. I don't like telling anyone about my affairs, so I've never used this method up to now. And yesterday was the first time I went public, even though the video hasn't gotten a single view yet. Nevertheless, it's now in the public domain, available for everyone to watch, so it can be considered a public commitment. And look at the results it brought. My situation immediately moved from a standstill. So, public commitment is indeed a very powerful tool that's worth arming yourself with. It could be a commitment on social media, on YouTube, or just in front of your friends. Ideally, it should be more than one person, the more the better, but at least one person in a pinch. I've just convinced myself of this, so I highly recommend it to everyone. Number 2. Days that attract events. Maybe you've noticed it yourself, and if you think about your life, you'll probably agree with me. There are days when nothing happens, like a day, 2, 3, several days go by with absolutely nothing happening. It's like a Groundhog Day, the same routine over and over. But there are days when several significant events happen all at once, and they're not even related to each other. But on the same day, several significant events occur, so it's like this day is like a magnet, and several events happen in just this one day. It's worth making such days for yourself. Typically, the events that happen on such days play an important role in subsequent events of your life. And maybe, honestly, I haven't learned to use this yet. Maybe you guys come up with some ways, but you need to make use of such days, or at least mark them and understand why you're in the middle, like I am in the middle of such an important day. And maybe you will find some way to leverage it. Moving on. The third reason might be what I call the decision effect. This is also a super powerful thing, and it works in a paradoxical way. The thing is, when we make a firm decision and when we are determined to act on it, the universe immediately starts to rearrange itself. Events begin to change, and since the universe does not operate linearly and time in the grand scheme of things doesn't really exist in the universe, changes can be practically instantaneous. Sometimes they even have a sort of retroactive effect. Since my decision yesterday was indeed firm and I had a strong intention, it became a fork in the road, and events started unfolding according to a new script. I've had such situations in my life before, situations like several of them, and I am sure each of you has too. And this effect sometimes manifests like this. You make a decision, you plan some action to implement this decision. Let's say, for example, you need a certain result for which you need to talk to a person on whom it depends. You schedule a meeting with this person, say in a couple of days. But even before you go to the meeting with this person, the issue is resolved, and you end up just calling them to cancel the meeting. That's how the decision effect and intention work. And the fourth reason, it's the most controversial, but nevertheless, conversation with a friend. I have a friend who is into spiritual growth, esoteric practices. I often talk to her. She helps me get rid of my limiting beliefs, to look at the situation anew. Let's say, she never gives advice. She only asks questions and asks me to ask questions too. But I've noticed that after talking to her, the space, the universe starts to rearrange itself somehow. And when I talk to her, even if I don't go anything specific, events seem to shift from a standstill. But for now, this is just my theory. I need to test it. But honestly, I'm inclined to believe that such an effect really exists. So let's sum up. I've received 20% of the amount I planned for so far. Additionally, yesterday I decided to purchase a paid subscription to an online service. Although I'm not going great financially right now, this will allow me to develop my YouTube channels. But nevertheless, I realized that without this service, it would be difficult for me to move forward. So that's it for today. Bye bye for now.